Let me give you a quick demo of using the evaluation and migration assistant. Here's the home screen of your migration workbench. It's got a pretty straightforward function to simply move data from your source to a target database. Source databases can include Oracle, Netezza, or Teradata, etc. Today we're going to select Oracle as a source database. Let's do that. And then for the target, we're going to select Actian Avalanche, which is Actian's cloud data warehouse solution as a target database. And then we're going to browse the local machine to find DDL that's been extracted from the source database. In this case, there's 3 files I want to work with. So once you pick those up, they end up in your workbench as .SQL files. And then we hit the migrate DDL function, which will move things like schema objects, table definitions, indexes, primary and foreign key constraints, etc. And then once those 3 files are there, you'll notice on the right-hand side of the screen, we have the evaluate button. We'll start by evaluating the bottom of the 3 to see how easy it is to get it to migrate to the target database. And after a while, it tells you 85% plus is automatically migratable. The middle one's not so great, 58% rather. And the top one is a clean migration, 100%. So let's click on the file icon to take a look at the procedure that didn't migrate so well, and we see this is an incomplete procedure which would not have run in the source database anyway, so that's one we wouldn't take over. Now we're going to look at one of the good ones at the top, the 100% conversion. It's a very well-formed procedure. And the bottom one we see is a procedure with a missing return. So we're going to make sure it returns something, even if it's a null. So we can just edit that right here in the workbench. And when we save that, we can retry the evaluation. We'll do that now. And this time it is 100% complete. So we can remove that middle one from our workbench, which doesn't delete the source files or target files, by the way. And now we're going to convert them to Actian dialect. So the conversion is complete. 2 more icons appear, one to view the converted code or converted procedure, and one to embed that procedure into or load it into the target database. Let's pick, typically you pick one application or one schema and work through the objects contained in that schema, so you don't have to do the whole database in one go. So we definitely recommend a phased approach. And in this case, you can save the output files locally, or if you have a live connection to the target database, you can save it straight to the database. Here we've downloaded it into a local file system. And we can look at the converted procedure, and this Oracle procedure is now in an Actian procedure, and very well written one at that. It's been perfectly converted, and it has a return function we added. We can also drill down into the summary of each procedure. In this case, it shows you that 12 procedures were converted, 100%, and with no errors. So if we did scroll down, there were exceptions. You would be able to see them in this dialog. So that concludes the demo. And just to give you a summary of what you saw, so we can basically, again, one of the best practices was to engage a skilled services person or company to do the migration. We have a great relationship with HCL, for example. They have skilled migration specialists so we can work with and recommend. And they use the migration assistant tool, for example, to evaluate the effort of doing the migration. The migration assistant will help automate just about all the migration work. Any code that doesn't get migrated has to be edited manually. With someone who's done it before, that's an easy task. Yeah, so we have an inline editor to speed up that exception handling process. so you can iterate and refine your conversion as you go. You can you can basically view the code inside the database as well. And it converts DDL and actually helps you move the data across to the target database. So here's an example of migrating the sample database. You can take a sample subset and make sure the application is running. You can test your existing BI and ETL tools against it, as well as use the tool to make sure the database is functioning correctly. If you have a long-running migration job for a large database, diagnostics are available in the form of a log file, so you can actually monitor the progress of the migration as it occurs. I hope you found this demo interesting and it inspires you to give Avalanche a shot yourself.